Hello, everyone, and welcome to our regular council meeting for Wednesday, May the 11th. Thank you to all of the public that have joined us on live stream. Thanks to staff and council. We have quorum, so we'll call this meeting to order, and I'll let you know that this meeting is being live streamed. And please be sure that your microphone is muted when you're not speaking. Public comments made during this meeting are both audio and video recorded and shall form part of the retention bylaw. Shall be retained according to the town's retention bylaw. And for more information, you can contact Clerk Services. Now I'll ask Councillor Payne, please, for the land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Your Worship. The town of Innisfil acknowledges that Innisfil is situated on treaty land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history. The town also acknowledges that this land is the traditional territories of the first peoples of Turtle Island. It is shared between the Anishinaabe peoples of Beausoleil, First Nation Chippewas of Rama First Nation, and the Chippewas of Georgian Island First Nation, and we thank them for the generations of stewardship. This meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people, and as settlers, we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. The town acknowledges the forced sacrifices that are the foundation of Canadian society today. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nation, Métis, and Inuit peoples.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the honor.
Thank you, Councillor. So now we'll move on to item number 2, which is our open forum. We've had no participants register for the open forum this evening, which takes us to item number 3, approval of the agenda. And could I ask Deputy Mayor Davidson and Councillor Kevin Ices if they would please move and second the recommendation that the agenda be approved as printed? Any agenda repair required before we move forward? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? None, that's carried. And we'll go to next to item 4, which is disclosures of interest. If there's any member of council that has a conflict or pecuniary interest on any item on tonight's agenda. Going once, going twice. Seeing none, we'll move forward. If one becomes apparent to you through the conversations this evening, make it known to us at that time. And Councillor Payne, can I just remind you to mute just before we get going? Thank you so much. Now, next is item 5, presentations and petitions. And we're very fortunate tonight to have with us our very wonderful market manager, Jamie Grant. And Jamie's come with the annual update on the Innisfil Farms Market. Welcome, Jamie, and it's feeling like spring is in the air, so that makes me think of market. So please, whenever you're ready.
Perfect. Good evening, Your Worship and members of council. It's nice to see you all again, even if it's just on a screen. I would like to start off by thanking you all for your support this past year. I also wanted to thank you for physically showing up to the market. This really boosted the vendor and resident morale during the pandemic, during a time where we really needed to see our leaders. Thank you so much for anybody who was able to come out in person for the events. I have some exciting news to share. For any of you that are not aware, we were once again the lucky recipients of the Innisfil Community Foundation Grant Program in the amount of $4,600. We have partnered with the YMCA, whom are acting as our intermediaries this year, and we couldn't be more pleased to be partnered with these community groups to have the ability to deal with any COVID changes that happen over the season. I am very happy to relate to you that last year was a success. Our survey showed a definite increase in visits over the year, and this translated into vendors being sold out and more participation in the events every week. The market is growing and maturing, and I am just very proud to say that things are going very well. Items of concern, we don't really have a whole lot of those this year. So basically we just have a lack of greenery. We are working with the town staff to bring more planters to the market. And many of the trees unfortunately have died in the perimeter of the parking lot space, and there are no plans at this time to replace them. So goals this year are to make the market a greener space and to offer more variety in the food products that we have grown locally. The greenery is addressed best we can with staff through the planter program. And the board of directors has approved an expansion of vendors to address the need to offer more variety in products at the market. The ask this year is the same. It's that we can still look to the town for the staff needs that we have with operations and storage that we've always needed to make it run. Any and all help is appreciated, not just by the committee, but by the farmers, their families, and all the volunteers it takes to make this work. I thank you for your time and the opportunity to come this evening. So unless there's any questions, I believe that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grant, for being here, and thank you for all the time and dedication you've given to the farmers market. I think even during COVID, it became more important than ever to support local and eat local. So it was so nice to have the market to go to. I know if I didn't get there before 3 o'clock, many things were sold out. So I know better now than to wait that long. Questions and comments for Jamie or the market board? Councillor Ices.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. Just a note of thanks, Ms. Grant, for facilitating such a successful market that allows local farmers to have a place to sell their goods, and it really has added to the community. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Fowler.
Thank you, Worship. I just wanted to extend the gratitude to Jamie for the hard work she's put in. I am a frequenter of the farmers markets, and if I understand correctly, she is so successful that she has taken on managing a second market as well. So she's not only just growing the produce and baking sweet treats there. So this is a good thing. It shows that she's connecting with the community, and she's helping more and more people provide local services. That it's the important part, where we go, right? So congratulations, Jamie, and I look forward to seeing you again this year.
Thank you, Councillor Fowler. Councillor Arsadi.
Thank you. Just echoing other councillor members, Jamie, and to thank all the members on your executive of the farmers market. And I know that residents are starved for this type of event this year, to get out, to meet the local producers, farmers, products. So I think it's going to be bigger, better, and better tell those vendors to stock up on their supplies. And I wish you another successful year. And thank you to all of you for the hard work that you put in to make this a success. Sorry.
Thank you, Councillor Arsadi. And just FYI, in the note that you gave to us, Jamie, the week that the Onion, or the weekend that the Onion Fest is on, I understand you're going to be in Stroud that week. So just a heads up for people, that's the Father's Day, the Thursday before Father's Day. And I know that staff are at staff level, that they're ready to support with initial setup and planters and garbage, etc., and storage. So staff is ready as always to work with the farmers market. So with that, then I would ask for Councillor Van Berkel and Councillor Arsadi to move and second the recommendation that the presentation from the Innisfil Farmers Market be received with thanks. All those in favor? That is carried. Thanks again for being here with us, and have a great evening. You're welcome to stay on and watch the rest of the exciting night if you'd like, but if you've got other things to do, we understand. Thanks, Jamie. All right, next are delegations. We've had no delegation requests for this evening, so we'll go to number 7. Any updates from County Council, any from the conservation authorities, any of the boards that you're sitting on in support of the town? Councillor Van Berkel?
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, we had a in-services board meeting this past month. I think we're going to have another one. But it was basically, we did an annual review of the health and safety program, and as well as a report on the quality of drinking water management report and the system and operational plan. And basically, what it comes down to is that the corporate policy is to provide clean and safe drinking water. Also, a report on in-services utilities, who are the owners of and operating authorities of the Innisfil Lake plant, of course, and Stroud, Churchill, Innisfil Heights. Also, we supply water to Bradford, and we did a risk assessment for these systems. It also delivers water to Cookstown, and the Bradford West Gwillimbury has procured Pure Technology to inspect the water transmission pipe from Alcona to Bradford from Fennel Reservoir for a total cost of $1,259,380. In-services share for that is $46,910.50. It hasn't been inspected in 16 years, and this pipeline also supplies water to Cookstown and to Goldcrest, as well as Guilford. So I think they're going to set up a program where it's now that the transmission line is getting older, where they inspect it a little more often. We're going to work together with Bradford on that. And in-services applied for funding through Municipal Asset Management Program, which is mostly for wastewater assets, especially related to sanitary sewer services, for $50,000. And I think that was about what the meeting was all about. I think I covered it pretty well.
You did. Thank you for that, Councillor Van Berkel. I did see other hands, did I not? Councillor Fowler and Deputy Mayor Davidson.
Thank you, Your Worship. We on the Truth and Reconciliation Committee tomorrow night are going to be going to the Moose Hide campaign event down in Meridian Square in Barrie. We're going en masse to show support to our Indigenous population. The event is to help bring awareness to gender-based violence. There'll be drumming, there'll be candlelit vigil, advocacy, there's going to be ceremony and whatnot. So we've already reached out to the Barrie Native Friendship Center, and they're eagerly awaiting Innisfil to come and visit this event to help shed a light on the importance of this Indigenous event. On a happier note, this Saturday we have Pitching Day. We've got the kits made, we have the plans made, we have the donations in order. We starting at 8:30. Anyone who wishes can make their way over to any one of our 5 fire stations. We'll have one of our representatives there. We're going to have our kits ready. And then at noon, we are going to be having a barbecue at Centennial Park, the first one we've had in 3 years. So we're super excited about this. We have the Pitsies playing. We've got bubble wands donated. We've got the Innisfil Library Board coming to assist, as well as members of the library themselves doing story time. So we're going to have pizza, we're going to have food, we're going to have a whole whack of things for everyone to do. And this is going to be a day of celebration after we work hard to clean up. And last year, when I went around trying to take pictures of people cleaning, I don't know how early they got up. I think they got up just as the sun crossed the horizon, because by 9 o'clock, all you saw was a sea of yellow bags across the town. So everyone really takes this day seriously, and it's really, really impressive how people step up. So as the chair of this committee, I'm eternally grateful. Thank you for everybody in that regard.
Thank you, Councillor Fowler. And that other board you were talking about is with the Innisfil Library Board?
Yes, ma'am. We're a subcommittee of the Innisfil Library Board, the Truth and Reconciliation Committee. We're looking to increase contact and communications with our Indigenous population, and how we can grow the relationship into a more positive feedback between us both as we move forward.
Wonderful, thank you. And let's not all forget the competition for the coveted golden broom as well.
This year, I actually made sure that Ms. Creamer put on the application what ward they came from, because last year we weren't able to do it. And as last time I checked, Councillor Nicol had the last spot on the last broom. So this year we have a brand new broom that we're fighting for.
Wonderful, thank you, Councillor. Deputy Mayor Davidson.
Thank you, Your Worship. County Councillor, for me, I didn't pick up any high notes on it. We had some other things to deal with, but I was impressed with the MCR process we dealt with on Monday with the housing crisis in Innisfil. And Innisfil has sort of been now sort of categorized as a bit unique compared to the growth plan that is proposed by the county and by the province. Their motto is "Baby needs a new home," and family-friendly, climate-friendly homes to be built in the Innisfil area in the future. And one of the areas that was the main concern that I actually asked questions on was the missing middle home. In other words, you can buy homes in Innisfil at $1 million, million plus, or you can, in the future, probably have a condo, but there's nothing in the middle for that average homeowner to buy. So we seriously have to look at that and make some corrections in how we're planning and building within the town of Innisfil, so you can live, work, and play within our municipality. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I share your enthusiasm with the MCR process, especially with the number of jobs that are allocated and the employment land that's allocated for Innisfil. Anyone else have any commissions or boards that they'd like to report on? I will tell you that we do not have an Emergency Operations Center update this meeting because they haven't met since the last meeting. We have declared the local state of emergency over, but the EOC is still actively meeting, but less often, just in case we see a spike or something comes up that we have to deal with. And that's it. So that's item 7. So we'll go to item 8, which is our consent list. And we'll start walking through our items. If this is your first time watching us, all of the items, all of the staff reports on the agendas that we've had for a week, we have the opportunity to send in questions to members of staff, and there are recommendations on each report. If we are happy with the recommendation and we don't pull it, then we'll confirm those recommendations at the end of the meeting. But happy to get questions, hear comments on any of the items. And of course, if you have any amendments to any of the items, please refer them to Committee of the Whole and we can debate any amendments at that time. So we'll start with A1, which is the special council meeting minutes dated April the 20th. A2, the special council meeting minutes dated April 27th. A3, the council meeting minutes dated April 27th. B1, the summary report from the Pitch-In committee meeting from April 28th. Councillor Nicol.
Your Worship, don't need to pull this, but as Councillor Fowler alluded to, I'm wondering if the retired golden broom, and maybe I could put that up in the council office at Town Hall, just to remind everybody who's won so many years in a row, or I think it was 4 or 5 anyways. So I just wanted to see if that was a possibility. I could hang that up somewhere that we could all admire the hard work from Ward 7.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Asadi.
Thank you. I think there should be a moratorium on the number of times that you can actually win. And Councillor Fowler, I'm really excited to hear that you have bubble wands. And I think that there could be a bubble wand challenge between the wards over this broom. So no, it's going to be great weather, great day. I've had residents in my ward already out collecting. So I've reminded them to get registered so we count those points.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone. A little bit of friendly competition going on here. Item C1, the 2021 final operating capital and capital results. I was pleased to see so many emails back and forth from members of council to staff asking questions on this report. So it looks like all those questions have been answered. I'm seeing no comments, so I guess we're not pulling it. I just want to acknowledge the very, very hard work of the treasurer and the CFO, and thank you so much for making it so easy to read and understand. Thank you. Next is C2. Oh, sorry, I did have one question that I didn't ask ahead of time. The 79,000 left over in the funding for transit, do we have to send that back to the province? Ms. Webb or Mr. Melanishan? So that was the piece of the transit money that I think it was about give or take 79,000. Do we have to send that back?
Yes, Your Worship. As far as we know, we do need to send it back. We haven't received any direction from the province in terms of when, but we expect to get some communication from them asking for that money to be returned.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, so C2 is the report about the Appendix C amendment for the fire department. Chief Thomas, when are we getting the boat in the water?
Mayor Dolan, I believe we have the boat in the water. We're just finishing our spring training, so we are good to go. We're just going through the refresher training with all of our crews in the next couple of weeks, so we are good to go.
Wonderful, thank you for that. C3, the 2022 municipal drain maintenance cleanup works. I just had one quick question, Mr. Ninehouse, and it was in regards with the Redford drain. So if it's mostly or will the city of Barrie pay as a benefiting landowner? We said we had to notify them. Does that mean some of the bill goes to them?
Yes, through you, Your Worship. The assessments will go to the city of Barrie to be distributed to their landowners. So the notice will go to the city first, and then the letter that goes to everyone within the watershed will be forwarded to the landowners in Barrie as well.
Thank you for that. Item C4, the Hewitts Creek Drainage Works, appointment of an engineer. C5, the disconnecting from work policy. I just want to say sometimes I don't call it working from home, I call it living at work. C6, the respectful workplace policy amendments. Councillor Orsatti.
Just a comment that both of these staff reports on the disconnecting work policy and this one, I think, the timing is perfect, especially, with the upcoming election and potential candidates. But I wanted to say with the respectful workplace policy amendments and that social media and people interacting through text messages, messenger and all that, it's so important to include these. And I was happy to see that. I think it's important for everyone to read that, and certainly again with the new council in place. And thank you to staff for the work on this and always staying on top of it.
Thank you, Councillor. Next is item D1, the staff report for shared services update. I think we have the leads of all the shared services here, if anybody had any questions on this report from EY. Councillor Orsatti?
No questions on it, just that I think it was in page 4 or 6 of the report, just a comment about looking at the benefits and whether they warrant the investment, time, money and resources, but certainly a good report in looking into this. And I agree with the statement in there that the collaboration and strong part of our organization structure is that our town staff have been always working with this goal in mind.
Thank you. Next is item E, bylaws. We have no bylaws this evening. And then item F regarding AMO nomination. Item F2, council discretionary report for Nantyre Shores Secondary School leadership bursaries. Item F3, St. Peter's Catholic Secondary School bursary education. And then there's quite a few items under correspondence for information. G1, just a note, I'm going to ask the clerk, or maybe I could at the next meeting, why we're getting these minutes so late. We're getting January and February minutes in May, and I thought we should be a little further on than that. But I'll ask at the next Police Services Board meeting. G2, the Library Board minutes. Councillor Sadi?
Sorry, just stepping back one on the G1, just to comment, Your Worship. You had commented in the Police Service Board minutes about the seeing the higher priority of police services in the traffic involvement in the community. And, you know, since this council thing, residents or board minutes, sorry, residents will probably have seen South Simcoe Police on Innisfil Beach Road in front of Alcona Glen School as a first stop, looking at jaywalking, targeting speeders. And so there is more involvement and more presence, and we'll continue to see that moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. So there's nobody wanted to pull or speak on the Library Board minutes. G3, a thank you letter of support for the new funding of the Lake Simcoe Restoration Fund. G4, a letter from the Solicitor General, which was very nice, indicating what a great job we've done on our community well-being, community and safety well-being plans, and a proclamation for the National Accessibility Week from May 29th to June the 4th. And that's it, and nothing was pulled. So the consent list recommendation, we don't need A1, so we don't need to resolve to committee. Is that correct, Madam Clerk? Madam Deputy Clerk, my apologies.
I'm sorry, Your Worship. I was just consulting with another member of staff. Could you repeat your question?
So I wondered if we have no items pulled, we don't need to actually do A1 or A2.
That is correct.
Okay, so we can move right out of, we don't have to even do the RISE recommendation then either. So we'll do the consideration of adoption of the recommendations.
Correct, and then we would move on to the other sections would be not applicable. So we'd move right forward into, I believe, notice of motion.
Thank you. All right, so we're at that the recommendations of the Committee of the Whole for the meeting of May 11th be adopted as resolutions of council. But we didn't go into committee, so now I'm confused. Deputy Clerk Toma.
Again, my sincere apologies. I was just still on the phone with another member of staff. What was the question?
So we're, since we didn't actually go into Committee of the Whole, we can't pass that resolution. So we'll pass the one that says that the consent list for May 11th and the recommendations contained therein be adopted as resolutions of council.
Correct. That would be the recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. So can I get a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillor Van Berkel and Councillor Waters, all those in favor? That's carried. Then we can go to notices of motion. I haven't been told of any. Is there any notices of motion? Seeing none, notice of motion which Notices with which notice has already been given, item 10.1. I'll just speak quickly to this. This was an ask by our neighbors when the South Simcoe mayors and deputy mayors and CAOs met regarding an issue with affordable housing and support services in South Simcoe. So we've been asked to support this along with the other 4 South Simcoe municipalities. So I need a mover and a seconder for this, please. Deputy Mayor Davidson, and seconded by Councillor Nickel. All those in favor? That's carried. Announcements from members of council. Are there any announcements this evening? This is going to be a record meeting, I think. Councillor Van Berkel.
Thank you, Your Worship. I wanted to announce that I will not be seeking re-election for this next upcoming term. I will want to retire. I've been 40 years or more volunteering and doing things and whatever for the town of Innisfil, and I feel that it's time for somebody else to take my place. It's been a wonderful experience, and it almost makes me cry to say this because I've enjoyed every minute of it. But there comes a time in life where, you know, you've got to bow out and say, you know, it's enough, and that time has come for me. So I have to say that, you know, this has been one of the best councils that I've ever worked with, and staff has been absolutely terrific. They, you know, there isn't a single staff member that I can say anything bad about, only good. And I thank him, and it's just been wonderful. And all of the good people that I've met through the years, thank them, and my constituents here in Ward 2. They've been great, you know, some of them, but most of them. So I just had a good life, had 40 years of good life in Innisfil. That doesn't mean I won't be available for the odd committee if I'm needed here and there, because, you know, Innisfil's my home. Innisfil is what's on my brain all the time, and I will do whatever I can always for Innisfil. And again, thank you guys. You've been great. You've been wonderful. And I wish you, for the people that are running, I wish you nothing but luck. I really do, because each and every one of you deserve to get back on council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Van Berkel. And we're going to make you work very hard right up till the end of the term. So, but we really appreciate that.
And that is my intention, Your Worship, to work right to the very last day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Other announcements? Councillor Arsati.
Thank you. I would also like to announce to the public and to staff that I will not be running for re-election, and I want to thank the residents of Ward 3 for entrusting me to represent them for the past 8 years and addressing their concerns. Well, we always make decisions with the goal of the future at heart. And it's been an honor and a privilege, and I will continue to provide the same level of service and dedication until the end of this term. And as the nomination period for municipal elections has begun, I encourage residents who want to make a positive difference in our community to find out more about what is involved. Attend information sessions, do your homework, and if you're interested, put your name forward for any of the positions on council that you feel fits you best. And the role of a councillor is not a singular position, but it's a member of a team that includes council and staff that support each other, who accomplish more as a result. And I believe that we as council have respected each other's views and work well together. And I have appreciated the opportunity to work with each of these fellow councillors and from both terms. And I wish them the best in their choices and their future endeavors. I have notified the senior team members and council ahead of today with my decision, and will save my final tearful farewells and thank you speech at the end of this term, and will congratulate all successful candidates, and hoping that they too will realize how fortunate we are to work with the great staff at the town and build a council team that continues the legacy of all elected officials before us. And to my fellow councillors, This has been a journey, and I'm glad to have been on that journey with each of you. I am so proud and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Councillor. Any other announcements? I'm almost afraid to ask. We're going to end up. No other announcements tonight? Councillor Ices.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. Yesterday, Councillor Waters and I were invited to attend the Nottawasaga Futures Annual General Meeting, and it was a very nice night. We got to meet some of our fellow councillors and staff from Nottawasaga Futures and in the neighboring municipalities, and the Nottawasaga Futures speak very highly of Innisfil's economic development department, and I know they work closely together. And if there are any startup businesses that are looking for assistance, our economic development department is very good at that, but Nottawasaga Futures can help with that as well. So that was my announcement. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Other announcements? Councillor Waters?
Just one on hearing two of our councillors are going to be retiring, and thank them for all their years of service. I've certainly learned a lot from both of them. And so I just want to say that very, very quickly, but something that Councillor Asadi had mentioned about that we should be encouraging people in the community to get involved. And tomorrow night, there is an information session for people who are interested in running. So they can go to the Innisfil's website to find out more information on that. And I encourage everyone. I've been encouraging people, even my own ward, to run against me. I think it's a great thing that people can do for their community. They learn a lot about, and I think you get to see and hear and become friends with some very, very good people. And I know I've had that experience over the past 4 years. So I encourage anyone to get involved. It's a great experience, and you'll never regret it. So that's tomorrow night. Don't forget that.
Thank you, Councillor Waters. Councillor Payne, and then Deputy Mayor Davidson.
Sorry, I lost my button. Okay, so whatever Councillor Orsatti said, I might as well not say anything because I'm doing exactly the same thing. So I'm going to copy her speech. So but yeah, I just want to say I love you guys.
Oh, thank you so much, Councillor Payne.
The staff are amazing, and we couldn't have asked for anything more. So thank you.
Thank you, and I can just say anecdotally across the province, there's a lot of people that are choosing not to run this year, and I think it's indicative of the last 2 years, and it's been tough. It's a tough job, but it was tough this term. We did fantastic, and we looked after residents well, but certainly it took its toll across the province. Deputy Mayor Davidson.
Hard to follow that. I'd just like to say I didn't get a chance to send Miriam King off or see her when she is leaving our town. She has been such an attribute. I actually can call her a friend. She's open-minded. She was always there when you needed to ask a question or she wanted a question. So I want to say to Miriam King, you will be missed, and you've been a great contribution to the town of Innisfil. So enjoy your retirement. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, there was a number of us that were able to attend her second retirement party, and she was quite overwhelmed. And there was a huge amount of people. It was in Bradford at the library, but there was a huge amount. There's more Innisfil people there than Bradford people, I think. All the Rotary was there, and and I think she very much appreciated it. And she's moving to Napanee, but we gifted her with a nice Innisfil hoodie that she'll always remember us. And in Napanee, people will know that she's from Innisfil. Other announcements? I just have a couple. So while Councillor Waters and Ices were at the Nottawasaga Futures AGM, I was at a badge ceremony, a badge presentation for South Simcoe Police that was held in our council chambers. And there is 9 new auxiliary recruits that went through the Georgian College. We've partnered, South Simcoe Police have partnered with Georgian College to offer a police foundations course. And for the first time in the history of South Simcoe Police, all 9 auxiliary members are females, and they're top of their class. Their instructor was there and just raved about all of them. It was a very emotional night. A lot of them had family with them, and we're very pleased to receive their badge. And all 9 of them are volunteering on the auxiliary in hopes to one day become a first-class constable. So one of the things that was really special for me is we had our inspector, Cheryl Sutton, there. Cheryl's I don't know how many years she's been on the force, but she's been on the force as long as I've been on council, so it's coming up to 30 years. And it was so nice for these young girls to meet a person that they aspire to be. And it was a beautiful evening, and it was such a pleasure to be there. And I did thank all the auxiliary for all of the duties and service they give to Innisfil, and all as a volunteer. And then the only other announcement I would have was on Friday the 29th, we were pleased to be at the Innisfil DMZ to receive an announcement that a grant that we'd applied for through the Rural Economic Development Fund was given to us for $150,000. That $150,000 will allow us to expand our DMZ efforts more than just to startups, but also to support local business. And finally, it was my honor to be at the Mayor's Breakfast and thank Council for being there to support as well with the businesses of Innisfil. And I got wonderful rave comments back from everyone, even someone I received an email from a lady, an Innisfilian, who works at Friday Harbor, and she was actually serving us that day, helping at the buffet. And she listened to our speeches, and she sent me a lovely note saying how glad and how proud she was to live in Innisfil. So it was really, really quite touching. And that's all the announcements that I have. Anyone else? Councillor Fowler?
Thank you, Your Worship. It almost slipped my mind. I apologize with all the well wishes we have for our councillors that are going to be departing. This past weekend, my son and I took part with the South Simcoe Streams Network, which is supported by the Nottawasaga Valley. We did 400 seedling plantings around Leonard's Creek. Just to give you an idea, we planted cedar, tamarack, maple, among other things, and it's good that to see everybody get out. We had a scout troop come down from Barrie, and it was incredible. In 2 hours, 400 plantings. I mean, everybody really got down and dug deep, literally and figuratively. So this is something I'm really, really happy about. It's something that really united us, and it's got a long-term effect and a positive one on the environment. So thank you to everybody who came.
Absolutely. South Simcoe Streams first got their start actually through the Nottawasaga Futures group. So it's great that they're doing so well. Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll move to adjournment. So I would ask Councillor Fowler and Councillor Payne to move and second our adjournment for this evening. All those in favor? Oh, did I miss something? I missed something. Oh, the confirming bylaw. My fault. I always miss that one. So the confirming bylaw is Councillor Fowler and Councillor Payne. All those in favor? That is carried. And then adjournment will be Councillor Nicol and Deputy Mayor Davidson. that we adjourn at 7:45 p.m. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you, everyone. It was a very quick meeting. That just means the next one's going to be that much longer, I think, but I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate all the staff for being there, even though we didn't ask for a lot of questions. It's nice to know that you're there to answer them if we needed you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.